Hi, my name is Venkatesan and I'm here to talk about a very important point which could help mid-level organizations in managing their bottom line. We have witnessed and noticed one virus, the kind of impact that it has created to the overall economy. And we have also read a lot of news about many organizations, specifically mid-level organizations and startups, how it got affected and how they were forced to shut down their operations or close their business completely. Now, this is not something which is really soothing to our heart or mind when we listen to such kind of a news. One of the major points that if we typically look at is managing our working capital and monthly expenses. The cost of operations, how we manage, determines the success and the scalability of any startup and majority of the mid-level organizations. Today, we'll be talking about, are there possibilities to have a healthy, cost management, a healthy working capital management, and any possibility of increasing our gross margin on a month-on-month basis. Now, considering the current situation, we all know there are many organizations which are considering to enhance and try new methodologies and new type of operations, keeping the work from home concept as a new normal. Now, is it feasible? If it is feasible for big organizations, because we know TCS has actually come out stating that they are going to have increase the work from home option to around 75% in the next 5 years. Google and big companies like Facebook, Amazon, they have come out stating that they might consider work from home option for their employees till the end of this year, and if that's going to really work out, they might extend that beyond the year 2. Now, is this option only for big organizations, or is it something which can be explored very positively for mid-sized organizations and startups? Now, let's take an example of a notional organization named XYZ Services, which has a total workforce of 100 and operates out of one single location in India. The company provides the transportation to 30% of their employees, and the company has taken a leased internet connection, 1:1 of 50 Mbps. The average annual cost to company per employee is at rupees 3,75,000, and company also provides vehicle parking facility for 30% of their head count. Of which 20% for two-wheelers and 10% for four-wheelers. Now, before getting into the actual calculations, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do subscribe by clicking the subscribe button at the bottom of this particular video. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, let's get into the actual calculations. Based on the IMA survey report and a report from CBRE, it is understood that on an average, to accommodate 100 people in an office, the average area requirement is around 10,000 square feet. The rental for commercial purpose in India is ranging anywhere between rupees 45 to rupees 123 per square feet. 123 being the highest in Mumbai suburbs and 43 in Ahmedabad. So on an average, it works out to around 75 per square feet as rental. So if we consider rupees 75 for 10,000 square feet, the cost would be 750,000. The salary cost, as we mentioned in the question itself, it's around 325,000 average CDC per employee per annum. So for 100 people per month, it would work out to around 2.7 million rupees. Average electricity cost, considered it as at rupees 20 per square feet, but this could actually vary depending on the location, the tariff, the state within India as well as the service provider they take. But on an average, based on many reports, what we get to see is it ranges anywhere between 20 to 23, 23 rupees per square feet. So we consider it at 20 because majority of the locations are averaging out at rupees 20. So the cost at 20 per square feet would be around 200,000. The average internet cost per month for 50 Mbps 1:1 link would be around 150,000. The office maintenance cost is at around 50,000. Transportation cost, where we have mentioned in the question that 30% of the employees would opt for office transportation. So on an average, to accommodate 30% of the people, so it would require around two 17-seater vehicles, and the average cost per month for one 17-seater is working out to around 75,000. So for two vehicles, it would be 150,000 rupees. Vehicle parking for 30% of the employees, where 20% for two-wheelers and 10% for four-wheelers, it would cost on an average around 100,000 rupees. And there are other costs which we will have to consider, which probably need not essentially be common or standard across every organization. It could be the interest paid on overdraft, it could be provisions, it could be any specific other cost towards transport or on travel expenditures and other variable expenditures. So we are considering 35% of the overall cost except on salary to be a cost that is incurred towards other costs which are directly operations in nature, and that would amount to around 490,000 rupees. So for the communication expenses, be it your telephone, PRA line, or the extension lines, so it would cost around 100,000 rupees for organization which is having a workforce of around 100. So the overall cost per month would be anywhere on an average 4.7 million. To be precise, it would be 4.698. So if we consider the organization is working at a gross margin of 17%, then the overall top line would be at 5.5 million. Now, for ease of calculation, what we would do is we would consider that the top line is standard even in the new normal, and we would try to see if the organization would be able to accommodate the expenses as well as maintain a healthy working capital and monthly fund flow statement. So before getting into the normal, let's look into a couple of other ratios. The salary to cost is working out to around close to 58%, which is 57.6%. And other expenses other than salary would be at 40.23. On an average services industry, it works anywhere between 38 to 45%. So we are considering an average of 40% of the other costs. Right. Now, in the new normal, now this organization XYZ Services is opting and exploring the option where 50% of their employees would be working from home, in which case the office area need not be at 10,000 square feet, because only 50% of the people would be coming down to office on a regular basis. So the requirement would actually reduce to 5,000 square feet. Having said that, there could be a necessity or there could be a plan for the organization to enhance some infrastructural changes which probably would help in efficiency as well as effectiveness, and also saying people who are working from home to be able to access the service and other thing. So it could be for any reason. So let's consider that the organization has decided to reduce the area by 40% and not by 50%. So for 6,000 square feet, now the office rental at rupees 75 would work out to around 450,000, a positive impact of 300,000 when compared to the current scenario. The salary cost being constant at 325,000 average CDC per employee per annum, so it would be at 2.7 million and as a standard, average electricity cost at rupees 20 per square feet. Now it would be calculated on 6,000 square feet, so the cost would be 120,000 square feet with a positive impact of 80,000 rupees. Average internet cost per month for 50 Mbps line 1:1. Requirement is only for 50 LAN as against 100 LAN points in the current scenario. So the cost would be at 75,000 with a positive impact of 75,000. The office maintenance cost would also reduce, considering the overall area has reduced by 40%. The cost would be at 30,000 rupees per month, so which is a positive impact of 20,000 rupees. Transportation cost, here also we would consider that only 50% would be operating from office, and even in that 50%, if we consider 30% of the people are opting for office transportation, now the requirement would be for one 17-seater vehicle, and the cost would be at 75,000 per vehicle per month with a positive impact of 75,000. The vehicle parking for 30% of the employees, now it would reduce to 50,000, because the overall employee count operating from office would have reduced by 50%. So the cost would be at 50,000 with a positive impact of 50,000. Other costs similar in the current scenario, if we consider 35% of the overall cost except for salary, it would cost 80,000. Again, here there is a positive impact of 210,000. Communication expenses, this would slightly have an escalation, considering the organization might want to reimburse the telephone bills because people would be operating from their home, and they might also want to reimburse their home internet connection. So the cost considering to be escalated by 20%. So here the cost would be 120,000, negative impact of 20,000. And of the balance cost saving, if 30% is incurred by the organizations to enhance cyber security related platforms as well as certain technology enhancements and digital enhancements through cloud-based services or infrastructure as a service kind of model, to support people working from home as well as an office, so that they are not deprived of the basic resources to be able to do their roles. So if the organization is incurring around 30% of the cost which has been saved, it would work at around 273,000 rupees per month. So this would be an additional cost which the organization might have to incur. So in this model, the total cost of operations per month for the organization would be at approximately at 4.2 million as against 4.7 million in the current scenario. So there is a positive impact of close to 520,000, 517,000 to be precise. So on an average, if we consider it to be 520,000 rupees per month, right, it is a pretty positive impact to the overall bottom line. Now here the salary to cost ratio would increase to 65% approximately, and other expenses to cost would actually reduce to 26% to be precise, 25.83% as against 40.23%. Now here it is a positive impact to the overall gross margin, because the organization in the current scenario was operating at 17% gross margin, and their cost per month would be around 4.7 million, but in the new normal, while allowing 50% of the individuals to be working from home, the gross margin would be increased to close to 32%, 31.5% precisely, a positive impact of close to 14.5% to the overall cost saving and bottom line, something pretty crucial and extremely beneficial for the mid-sized organizations and startups, because one of the major challenges, as we discussed, for any mid-sized organization and startup is to maintain their working capital, monthly working capital and monthly cash flow and fund flow management. Now with an enhanced gross margin and with an enhanced cost saving potential of close to 14.5% per month, the organization would be in a healthy position to scale its operations as well as explore further efficiencies, trying to adopt technology advancements and enhance their capability and competency. On an average, if an organization is able to save around 14.5% every month, then in a year approximately they are ready to actually manage 4 months of their overall working cap, 4 months for complete operations without a top line. It's a pretty positive sign. And the other major aspect in this new normal is there are many research reports as well as there are a lot of articles which have come in where companies have claimed that the new model working from home, the productivity has not deteriorated. In fact, there are companies which have claimed that the productivity has enhanced better while people are asked to work from home, and it has provided some amount of empowerment as well as flexibility for the individuals to be able to concentrate on their roles and deliver it as the requirement to their specific clients or the requirement of the business. So let's practically consider if the productivity rate has not been impacted, there is no increase in productivity rate or there is no decrease in productivity rate, in which case the organization will be able to save 14.5% and the employees need not be traveling on an average 1 hour one side from home to office and office to home. So on an average 2 hours they would be spending every day if they have to operate from their office. So 50% of the people, they would be operating from home, and in this there is a huge potential and encouragement for individuals to be able to concentrate on their work appropriately without any impact to their productivity, and also helps the organization in being able to build a positive and a healthy working capital for their monthly operations. Should you need more information about this, feel free to contact us on browsing through our website www.venkatesan. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and also subscribe and connect to us, message us through our YouTube channel. The details are actually mentioned here. You can also email us to venkatesans@venkatesans.com, and we would be extremely glad and more than happy to help you in scaling your business and helping you out. In fact, this is a foundational point that I'm actually discussing on this video, but there are many other models with which we would be in a better position to help the organization specific to the industry, and through research as well as through proven models where we can actually help the organizations in being able to handle their monthly operating costs as well as working capital in a much better and healthier way. I would like to take this opportunity to especially mention and thank Mr. Sudhir Neelakandan, Chief Operating Officer of Unimoney Financial Services India, and Shami Prabhakar, the Associate Director Finance and Accounts for Unimoney Global Business, who helped me out in making this video. Thank you.